And hey, everybody, it is Thursday. It is, golly, September 7th already. So thank you for joining. It's our first Thursday call. And this is a call that's just specifically for our group. It's our Eat, Live, and Be Healthy group. We started these calls about 8 or 9 months ago, doing them on once a month just to come together as a community. We know the value of getting together and the value of support. And what we try to do is really speak about relevant issues. Changing our lives and changing our habits is not easy. And so we're here to support you through that. So if I didn't say my name is Dee Corchin, and on the call tonight, we helped with some support from our health coaches, some of the top leaders on our team. So you're in for a real treat. So what we decided to talk about tonight was what's my next step? Where do I go next? And what I mean by that is we're all in different places. We just started the new focus group. So we have a lot of new people that are have just joined or just starting their journey. We have clients that have been here for a while. Some are in a solid fat burn. Some maybe we're waffling on the program a little bit, or maybe we're stuck where we are, or maybe we're heading into transition or maintenance and we're not sure what that's going to look like and what our next step is. So we don't have a lot of time, and your health coach is always going to be your primary resource, but we wanted to just give you some guidance around it, because with our health, as with most things in life, we all have another step, a next step that we can take that's going to bring us to our goals and what it is that we want. So what I want to do is just give a little bit of a high level overview, and just to kind of show something to you. I'm going to try sharing my screen, and I want to show you just a couple slides that I have. And the first one is just this first one about lifelong transformation. We rebranded back in July and to Optavia, and it really capitalizes on who we are, that we are a health program, an overall health program, and we can help you with your physical transformation, but our real goal is total health, which is you being able to reach your healthy weight, and not only reach it, but more importantly, sustain it for life, and also achieve balance and good health in all areas of your life. So that would be in the area of healthy mind, where you're in a good place with your work, that you feel like you have meaning and purpose, that you're not stressed out, that you're not emotional, and also that your financial situation is in a good place as well. Because those other two areas, the healthy mind and healthy body, finances, they continually show up in our healthy body if we don't address it, and we really cannot achieve total health. One of the quotes here, it says, people don't decide, I can't see my whole slide, but people don't choose their futures, they decide their habits, and their habits determine their futures. And that is so true. And so we've all come to this, no matter where you are in your journey, we've come with a lot of habits and a lot of responses in the way that we deal with things. And in order to make lifelong change, in order to make this different, we have to do things different. And our natural response, the way we're wired, is we're going to want to approach this the way we've approached any attempt to get healthy. And, just blink or nod your head if you've ever tried to lose weight before and you weren't successful, or if you were successful and you gained your weight back, right? So in order to do something different, it's going to require something different. And one of my favorite quotes is that, if nothing changes, nothing changes. So we all come into this with great expectations, right? Your coach talked to you about the program, shared with you what was possible, shared with you all that we have to offer. The health coach, all the components of the program, which we'll go over again tonight. It sounds great, right? And we're all in, and we're thinking this is it. And we visualize, we have this expectation of this straight shot to success. But the reality is with that picture on the right. Yeah, right. We bump up against life, and here we go. And those same stresses we used to face are still there. Those same emotions are still there. That same stressful job is still there. And whatever it is that's tripped you up before is still there. So we still make progress, and that's why we're here, but it's going to just be messy. And I think that, that thing that messes us most is the expectation in our head. And then when things don't go right, and maybe we slip up, we have some shame, we have some guilt. And the natural response to shame is, and believe me, I live this, so I know, I'm speaking from experience as well, is that our natural response to shame is, it could be rationalization, right? We try to rationalize our way out of our behavior, or we blame other people. or we make excuses for it. But a common one is that we tend to hide from it. And that's why we're going to talk about the importance of support and the health coach. So the other thing I just want to point out quickly, and most of you guys probably know this, is that what we offer at Optavia is a 6-step process. Number 1 is making that decision. You're in an uncomfortable place and you're ready for change. Step 2 is we're going to help you reach that healthy weight. Most people, honestly, in anything other than what we offer, tend to get stuck between steps 1 and 2. And if we're not careful, it can happen even with our program. So that's why we offer all these other components of our program and why it's important to be engaging in them. And that's maybe why it's one of your next steps, so that we can move on, that once we reach our healthy weight, we can transition. We know how to eat, how to maintain our weight, how to live the habits of health like exercise and sleep and stress management. How do we learn to optimize our health? And then how do we have that long, fruitful life that we also desire? So I want to go right over to Susan Giesland and let Susan share with us a little bit about some of the other components of the program. There's Susan spotlighted, of the health coach and the community. So Susan, can you share with us some people are new to our program, so what does a healthy relationship with a health coach look like, and what does it look like to engage in our community?
Thank you, Dee. The health coach is really probably I think it's vitally important to your success. If you take a look at studies after studies have shown that when you have the support and you have the guidance of someone when you're trying to do something new, you're more successful at it. Your results are much better than they would be if you're doing it by yourself. And that's kind of scary, isn't it? I mean, when you think about, I got to talk to somebody and I got to tell them this and I got to tell them that and I have to share these things with them. That can be really scary. And your health coach is there to guide you and to support you. And our goal as a health coach is whatever your goal is. So, it's not our goal, it's your goal, but we're here to support you. And so that's why it's really important that we get to know you. The beginning, our share call with you, where we learn a little bit about you and what program works for you and what you're looking for, is really important. That's why we ask all those questions. We don't want to think that, well, she's getting pretty personal, she's getting kind of intimate. But the reason is that we want to be able to support you as best as we can. And so we come along as your guide. We guide you through the program. We're your number one person to talk to with the program, to understand the program and everything like that. And that is vitally important as well in your success. But some of the other things to remember is we're here to celebrate with you your successes and your victories, whether they're a scale or non-scale. Whether I just had a client who she was at a lake house all weekend, and she had her kids there, and it was lots of people visiting and stuff, and she had a hard time staying on program. However, she made decisions that were better than what she had made in the past before she even knew about our program, before she even decided to get healthy. And that's what we call like a non-scale victory. When you are changing your mindset and you're progressing forward and you're making decisions that are better for your health, that's what we love to celebrate with you as your health coach. But to step back a ways from that is a great time to talk to your health coach, is when you see that coming up. I'm going on a cruise, or I have a wedding coming up. My reaction to a stressful situation was I would go and eat all the chocolate I had in the house, or I would whatever a stressful reaction is to a situation in the past. That's a great time to connect with your health coach before it even happens. It's almost like, planning. Like, for instance, if you take a look at what's going on right now in Florida, everybody's planning for what may or may not happen. It's planning and preparation. So if you're coming up on something that could be, could kind of derail what your goals are, or where you want to see yourself going, talk to your health coach. It's just, brainstorm with your health coach, because we have ideas that you may not have thought of. We have support systems and tools available to us to help you be successful. So, if you're struggling, if you're having a hard time staying on program, if something's come up, that's the best time to connect with us. It's like kind of what Dee was saying a moment ago, is sometimes we tend to hide. we tend to hide when things get tough and we don't know what to do and everything like that. That's why having a health coach really works, is we're your support team, we're your guidance, and sometimes we're your cheerleader, and sometimes, we're the one that brings you back on focus, that texts you, this is what you told me at the beginning, how do we get you back there? And we help you figure out ways to look at things a little bit differently, because it's like Dee said a moment ago, our choices lead to our behaviors, lead to habits. So if we don't like where we're at today, we have to change something. And so your health coach is there with you. We're trained, we're certified, we're there with you to help you make those changes, to overcome hurdles. And that's why it goes hand in hand with kind of what the community of support does. The Facebook page, the support calls that you have on Wednesday nights every week, this call every month, community events. You may have a local event available to you, a webinar event that's available to you. All of that is accountability. The other thing I would suggest is check out your coach's website. Have you gone on your coach's website other than just to place your next B-Slim order? Check it out. There are tools and support. We have all kinds of different tools, program guides. You could take a health assessment. You could look at lean and green recipes, stuff like that. But check that out as well as a level of support. And the other thing I want to mention too is when you have somebody with you on this journey with you, not just your health coach, but maybe a buddy, a spouse, a best friend, whatever, coworker, it's even more fun. So think about, who in my world that I know that I love to spend time with that is also looking to improve their health. And that's a person that you could refer to your health coach and just do it with them. And so altogether, it's that level of accountability. And it's scary to have accountability, but it's been proven that accountability keeps us successful. So that's why I say stick with your health coach through thick and thin. We are there to help you reach your goal.
Excellent. Thank you, Susan. That was great. And that relationship with your coach is so important, and they can help guide you to your next step, and also guide you, like if we are struggling, guide you where in the education materials that would be helpful to you, and help you prepare for what's going to, whatever it is that's tripping us up. I'm going to come back to the education part. I'm going to jump ahead. It's going to seem a little out of order, but it'll make sense in a minute because one of our speakers has to get off the phone for something else. So I'm going to have Vicki Feldman speak, and I love to have Vicki with us because Vicki is a wealth of information. And Vicki is going to share about what we're going to jump ahead to is maybe you're a client on the call that has reached transition and maintenance, and maybe you're looking at your next step to, or even when you're in weight loss, maybe you just need something else to focus on and setting a different goal other than just weight loss, and trying to stick to the plan. So Vicki, I'm going to, I've got you unmuted, Vicki, if you can hop in a little bit about that, setting the next goal.
Okay, sure. Can you hear me?
We can.
Okay, great. All right, well, so first of all, I love everything that I've already heard Dee and Susan say. And, I'm sitting here reflecting because I am now 4 years post my weight loss, and yet I reached out to Dee, who's my coach, this morning, and she was there for me. It's like, getting that, just bouncing something off of somebody is just so key, even 4 years later. So it just speaks to that whole idea of, the finish line, and you kind of clap your hands and say, yes, I've arrived. And yet, we all still need support. We all still need some reflection. And I remember something as simple of, how am I going to make this brownie or this cookie? I'm not going to have access to a microwave. And it didn't even occur to me that maybe I could make it before I went and bring it with me. It was like I was always stuck like in the moment. So sometimes it's, just speaks to really utilizing your support team and your coach, because there's always something you haven't thought of. But skipping so I just finished actually the Kaiser Permanente 5K. And I just want to add that I hate running. But I do it because it keeps me grounded mentally, emotionally, and physically. Even though I've reached my healthy weight, I always am focused on how to be healthy. Because I'll tell you, it's not just always about the scale. And I just actually had a DEXA scan done. A shout out to Nicole DeWard, who has that scale. So if anybody is in the Marietta area, highly encourage you to go get that done. And it gave me some good information, because what it really told me was, of all things, I need to build more lean muscle. and here I work so hard at cardio, and yet I like actually lifting, and doing more of one thing and I need to be doing more of another. So that information in terms of getting a little bit more lean has to do with kind of changing my direction a little bit. And I'm kind of smiling to myself because we just finished this race, and what do they have? A table of bananas. And of course, I know how my body reacts to banana, and I'm not going to eat it, especially not even with a piece of protein. And I'm not on plan, I'm in maintenance, but, I pass by it, but you see people with 2-3 bananas in their hand, and, I hate to say it, but what they're taking in is going to far outweigh what they just ran, but they don't see it that way. So I think it's really good to have the information when you start to realize how hard you really have to work to actually take calories off. It's a battle you're not going to win. So for me, I always think in terms of my goal is to get to my healthy weight no matter what. And I stayed on, I did not deviate, got to the weight I wanted to be at. And then I looked at the level playing field. I worked with figuring out what my caloric intake should be, and I balanced that out, still eating 6 times a day, still looking at just doing the program. I actually had 5 fuelings today before I ran this race because you know what? I feel great. I had a great run. So, I just encourage you to use the tools, but just think beyond the food and the scale. Like Susan said, we've been on your coach's site other than to hit the shop tab, because when you start thinking about your sleep and your water and your exercise and all those other components, that's part of a healthy life. And for me, I just look at my family genetics, and that's my why. It just comes back to how you want to live. And hopefully I'm choosing to live, and that's why I'm where I'm at. So I hope that's helpful. I don't know if there were other things, Dee, that you wanted me to touch on that perhaps I didn't.
No, it was perfect. It was perfect. What I love that you really brought to light, Vicki, was that this is not just about, the eating plan, and we've got a bomb diggity of an eating plan, but our healthy habits go well beyond that. And what you demonstrated too was the importance of that, through the process and through the education, you learned what to eat, right? So when you were no longer eating a fueling, that, like a banana, super healthy, lots of nutrients, lots of vitamins, but also very high glycemic. So you've learned that if you're going to have that, you need to pair it with something else. And
right, if they had given me some almonds with it, I would have jumped right on it, probably.
Absolutely, right?
They don't have that.
Eat half of it, right? Half of it with the almonds.
But that's okay. But that's okay because I've planned, and I have 5 bars to choose from in the car once I get in there. So
there you go. So you're prepared. That's the other thing, is that you're prepared.
I'm prepared.
Plan, and that's what helps us. So, Vicki, thanks for taking time. I know you need to run. That some people
sure.
are for you. So thanks for taking time with us while you're out there.
My pleasure.
Thanks. So that is a step in the process. The one thing that I see happen very, very often is, so again, we talked about the fact that we come into this and we're super excited, and, we get onto the weight loss plan, things start going well, and then suddenly it's like life is still there and we're still busy. So we're thinking, well, I'll get to that education book at another time. And oh my gosh, I don't have time to listen to that webinar, and I don't have time to do this. And I get that. I get it. We're busy, and who wants to pick up a textbook? I get it. But what we don't want you to do is bounce up against and be ready for transition and maintenance and not know what that looks like and what to eat and what not to eat. And so what we're doing is just helping you in the preparation of what that next step is. So we will circle back to that, because there is a next step for everyone, and very often a step in the process, it can fit in at any time, is the idea of exploring health coaching. And I bring this up for a couple of reasons. We have people that become a health coach a day into their journey, a week into their journey. We do not need to be at a healthy weight. The reason we would consider looking at health coaching is, number one, we can make this bigger than us. All of us have this innate desire within us to help other people. And when we can take the focus off just us and actually start to help somebody else get a win, it's going to help us move forward. And sometimes even taking that next step of becoming a health coach. This is where I find a lot of times if somebody is stuck, they've lost enough weight, right? Maybe they need to lose 50 pounds, and they've successfully lost 20 or 30, which is phenomenal. And they feel great and they look great. And so they no longer have that discomfort they had when we initially started the process. So it's easy to get stuck there and get kind of in an oscillating pattern, because there's not enough attention to do what it takes to move on down finished the goal, but we're not ready to give up. And sometimes taking that next step into coaching can create that tension again. It's like, whoa, oh, wait a minute. Now I'm helping somebody else. I better stick to the, I better, get on track with my own health if I'm going to help somebody else with this. And we create that tension, that discomfort within us. And it's that discomfort that, discomfort has to be strong enough in order for us to make change. So health coaching can enter at any stage of the game. Coaching can look very differently for different people. But what I wanted to do is have Meg Meg Johnson, I'm going on your maiden name, Meg Johnson speak with us, because Meg was one that really wasn't interested in coaching. When we first talked about her, she wanted to lose her weight and that was it. And, but over time started seeing to maybe the value of it, and her perspective is totally different. So Meg, can you unmute yourself, or you need me to do it? Okay, great. So what can you tell us about, your journey and your thoughts around coaching initially and now that you are a health coach for about 2 months?
Yeah. Thanks, Dee. First, the idea of becoming a health coach, to me, just those words completely freaked me out, and it was scary. And so I had to unpack that, and Dee, you helped me unpack that a lot and helped me realize I'm not a health coach in that I'm an expert, because I'm not a dietitian, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not a fitness instructor. I'm just Meg. But what I do have is I've done this program. I know that it works because it worked for me and it's working for my clients, and I can guide anybody into how to follow the plan. So I have that experience, and that is really how I see myself. Like I'm not a health coach, I'm a guide and a cheerleader, which are both of those things are really fun to do, right? And Dee, I love what you just said about becoming a health coach, how that inspires you and helps you on your own journey. Just today, I realized here on our Eat, Live, and Be Optavia group, I posted that I'm going to be trying to run 3 times a week, and it's Thursday. I haven't ran this week. So I posted on my Insta story my failure that I hadn't run yet, and that I was going for a run. And I had a client say, hey, that was really encouraging. And so that was great. Number one, just to encourage somebody else, but also I want to make sure I'm meeting my goals and staying in maintenance, so that I, for my own health, but also just, for my clients, and to not let them down too. It's really great motivation. So another thing that I realized, through working with you, Dee, and just kind of unpacking the idea of becoming a health coach, there are people in my life, my husband being one of them, who I really wanted to get healthy. I wanted them to make choices to be on a more healthier lifestyle, but they wouldn't have come to Optavia had I not been their coach. And I've had lots of my clients tell me that, like, I'm here because of you and because you're safe. I don't know that I could have called anybody else. And so to me, I mean, man, like that's everything to me, that I can play even a small part in helping my friends and family get healthy. It's the most rewarding thing in the world. So that to me was enough to get me to kind of launch and take the leap to become a health coach, just the idea of wanting to help a couple of people. And what I realized, my goal was just, I wanted to help 5 people. But once I got into it and I realized it doesn't take a lot of time and it is really rewarding, my goal just multiplied. So it's been a lot of fun in the last 2 months, and I'm just looking forward to kind of what's next and who else wants to get healthy.
That's good. And were you surprised? Has this helped you in other areas of your life? When we talk about healthy body, healthy mind. So I'm hearing from you from a healthy mind perspective, you're feeling that meaning and purpose. It's fulfilling a desire in that area.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, absolutely. Definitely fulfilling my mind as far as, I'm a stay-at-home mom. So to be able to have impact with adults and not just kiddos, like that's huge. Mm-hmm. So, I'm a different person because I've been health coaching. And so it's really helped my healthy mind, but it's also helped my finances. I watched the webinars and kind of looked at what it could do financially. And I thought, that's for those people. That's not for people like me. And this, I'm telling you, we're about to paint our house with money that we've made through Optavia in 2 months. It's crazy. So if you are passionate and like just wanting to help other people, it's amazing what it can do. And I never thought in a million years, I was telling you this, Dee, today, that I would be in this position, that this would be kind of my story, but it is, and I'm thankful, and it's been great.
Well, thank you. Thanks for sharing, Meg. And you know, coaching is not necessarily for everybody, and we get that, but it has really helped a lot of people, and in all areas of their life. And so I always would say, like, rather than just make a decision like, no, I'm too busy for that, or no, I'm not, I can't do that, or whatever. Usually that decision is based upon fear. And a lot of times fear is just because we don't know, right? We don't know, we don't have all the information. So I always just say, be willing to explore. I think the more open-minded we are about everything in life, the more, you know, educated decisions we can make. And so there is a call after this one at 9 p.m. There is a separate dial-in for it. There will be information about the what it can look like. And coaching doesn't necessarily, it can be something you do in addition to help a few people and make some extra money, which might pay for your food or, you know, pay for something else in your house. Or it could also be something that where you make a, you know, a substantial career-like change as a result of it. Most are very, very surprised when they see what's possible. So take a look at that if you're interested. That's at 9. So I want to give a quick rundown for you. Thanks for tuning in on this because I know we're running late on time. I want to tell you where you are right now, what a good next step for you might be. So listen up. It'll all be related to what we talked about this evening. So the first thing is, no matter where you are, if you even haven't started the program, day 1, 6 months in, a year in, write down your goals today. Write down your goals, what it is that you want and why you want it. And I want you to write it down so that you can be clear. We've got to have a clear path on where we're going. And there's a lot of evidence that shows when we write our goals down, we actually start to visualizing them coming to fruition. And when we start to have that visualization, there's actually neural pathways in our brain that start to help us create the habits and the behaviors that are going to support getting there. So I want to give you an example of like, I don't want you to write lose 30 pounds, right? Because that's a very negative orientation. What I want you to do is visualize yourself as your healthy self. And what does that mean to you? So if I was going to do mine, you know, mine would be that I'm at a healthy weight and a healthy BMI, that I'm active, that I'm energetic, that I'm doing the kinds of things I want to do on vacation, which means hiking the national parks and doing things that I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable in my skin. I'm comfortable in a 2-piece bathing suit. Like I want to be comfortable with myself. I'm not on any medications. I feel good. I have a history of heart disease. And I don't want that, you know, so I'm disease free. Like that's the person I visualize myself to be along with other things. So when you think about your goals, write them down in that tense. So write your goals down, take a picture, send it to your coach, and then post it on your bathroom mirror or someplace visible so you can see it. And let's just start to see, you know, how the behaviors might change. If you're a new coach, just start developing that relationship. I mean, a new client, start developing that relationship with your coach. We won't take up much of your time, we promise, but be honest with us. Be honest with us and don't feel like you have to put up any walls or false pretenses around us. Engage in the community and the education. Your first thing you would do would be to read your Optavia guide, the spiral bound one. Next one, start with chapter 1, Dr. A's book. If you're an existing client, do a little self-check. We talked about the other components of the program, the health coach, the education, the webinars we have, the books, the support, the community. Are you engaged? Where can you take your next step to be engaged in that? Maybe explore coaching, right? Get on that webinar at 9 p.m. Take a look, see what it looks like. Start reading in the book, chapter 6, 7, 8, and 9 about blood sugar and low glycemic eating and what will it look like, because we don't want you to get to your goal weight and then not know what to do. So we start planning now. So that's a great step. Maybe you're stuck. Maybe you've been doing this for a while. Maybe you've lost focus of your goal. Maybe you're not sure you want to do this anymore. Write down those goals like we talked about. Connect with your coach. That would be your next step. Have a conversation with you. They'll guide you to the resources that are going to help you reawaken that desire that you have. Explore coaching. I'll tell you, anybody who is stuck, put your hand out and start helping somebody else, and your world will start to change. You'll start to get the results that you're looking for by helping somebody else. And then transition and maintenance, very much like what Vicki was saying. Let's start setting the next goal. Maybe we're going to start exercising like Meg said. Maybe we're going to make a commitment to some consistent exercise. Are we going to flub up? Are we going to make some mistakes? Yeah, we're real. That's why Meg shared her story and she put it out there. I set a goal, I didn't make it. but she didn't give up for the rest of the week. She got out there on Thursday and did her run. So, just that accountability, set that next goal for yourself. And I would encourage you to explore coaching and take a look at the webinar that's at 9. So I hope this was helpful for you. We would love your feedback. We do these calls for you. So thanks for time. Number one, you guys already did a great job. You're way ahead of a lot of people by taking time for this call. Share what we offer with other people. Build your community around you. And it's a lot more fun when we're getting healthy together. So thank you guys. We appreciate every single one of you. And we'll see you on our Eat, Live, and Be Healthy wall. Thanks so much. And you guys have a good night.